Okay, I thought I'd do a quick video. Well, it's not going to be that quick, I guess, about setting up that NetManage Chameleon with Windows 3.0. So I just took a fresh copy of Windows 10 and let's go explore. So this is basically the end result we want. It's a TCP/IP stack for Windows 3.0. Of course, the fun is and everything else setting it up. So first thing we're going to need is 7-zip. Because we have to be able to decompress files. I'll just put links in the description, but just to show this is an empty virtual machine, nothing on it. So now we can decompress files. The next thing we're going to need is an operating system. I got this on a cheap eBay auction, so I like using it. I keep the images on archive. Just show all, and what we want is the IMA. So if you just find IMA, it's easier to see. So we want DOS install 1, DOS install 2. The second disk read damaged, but I kept it there. We don't need it. I don't know why anyone would want the damaged one. And then a copy of Windows 3.0 for the Apricot, which is like a UK vendor. All right, so we got some disks. The next thing we're going to need is an emulator. In this case, I'm going to use an old version of Qemu just because it's fast and tiny. So I'm going to download this. And the next thing we would need would be the Chameleon. So from the download page, we just grab version 3, pick a mirror. Doesn't matter. This thing should just take a second. There we go. So that's downloading. Alright, so we basically should have just about everything downloaded. I'll have to upload this stuff also to archive to show how this works. So I know I have to add in this AMD driver. Okay, so now we've got everything downloaded. Let's go ahead and make a directory. I'm going to do this all command line, because I'm old. We'll call it NetManage. And then copy everything there. Alright, so if it's in our path, we don't need this because we already installed it. Unpack the Qemu. So it's 7-zip X. Oh, it's not in our path. Nice. Maybe you have to reboot. I don't know. But I think I should be able to just right click and 7-zip extract files here. Cool. And while we're here, I guess this one was compressed. So we're going to go ahead and 7-zip and extract here. Alright. And then this one I'll have to upload, but basically just double click it, grab the, I think we just extract it here, that's fine too. So 7-zip extract here. Oh, that's not quite what I wanted. Alright, well, anyways, just make a folder, PCnet. And then we'll just grab the files that unpacked, move them there, and then we can move this directory into here. Okay, let's go ahead and grab the install disks. I'm just going to cut it from here, go into here, paste, and then now I can take my command prompt. I should be able to do this drag, drop into the path. Very nice. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a hard drive. So Windows 3.0 and DOS 4, they can't use big disks, so I'll use Qemu image, create. I like BMDKs. You can use whatever format you like, but these ones integrate with VMware very nicely. So the format BMDK, and then I want, I don't know, let's say 100 megabytes, so 100. Up to need the name, so we'll call this hot BMDK, and then 100 megabytes. There we go. So now we'll have created our virtual hard drive, which is right here. So there's nothing on it, so it's very tiny. Now this part gets complicated as far as running Qemu, so I'll just show a quick example. So we go Qemu, to tell where the BIOS is. It's a PC BIOS. then HDA for the hard drive, in this case it's the Apricot EMDK, FDA for the floppy, and in that case it would be the install. So normally you run it like this. You need to go F12, floppy boot, and we're at the floppy. But how do you change disks? That gets complicated and then you can't see everything at once. So let's go ahead and make a command file. We'll call this one apricot.cmd. Does it exist? We're going to create it? Yes. So first thing, I'm just going to copy what I typed in so I don't have to type over and over again as much. Now, in command files, the caret will let you split lines. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this because we don't need it. So there's a few other parameters I'm going to use. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this thing that I only want 60 megabytes of RAM. Then I'm going to go ahead, and it doesn't matter what point of the line, these can mix and match, but we try to make it look somewhat easier to read. Then we go NIC model equals PCNet, and then -net user. So this will make it a user mode IP stack. So it doesn't have a physical connection to your machine. Everything it will do has to be TCP/IP and translated. So it's a lot easier to set up than trying to do bridging and all that other nonsense. So it gives me a hard drive, it gives me a network card, it connects the network card. Then the next thing I'm going to do is add in a monitor. This will be Telnet 127.0.0.0.1. This is the loopback, so it only will listen on yourself. And I'll put this on port 4000. It's going to be a server and no wait. So the monitor lets you interact with the emulator by mounting floppies or rebooting the machine or sending special keystrokes. So normally you have to do Control Alt and numbers and stuff, and it gets complicated. So sometimes it's just easier to have this. The next thing I'm going to do is add a serial port. Same syntax, 127.0.0.1. You could make this anywhere else. It's not a very robust server, so don't expect too much. This has to listen on a different port, and it can have the same parameters. So as a server, it will act like a server. That means it'll you have to connect into it. And in this case, the serial port's nice to have because then you have a way to like copy paste stuff out like a clipboard. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some parameters. I don't think I need so many, but this will let me pass additional things in here. Like so, I didn't have the FDA for the floppy, so this lets me pass the floppy in at the command line. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that. I realized I spelled it wrong, so I'm going to rename Apricot CT Apricot.cmd. Alright, so let's go ahead and run that. If I spelled it right. Let's say the FDA. Alright. So I'm going to hit enter, and this will launch nothing. That should, oh. I just realized I didn't have the program in there. No, I did. Oh, because this is an ampersand. They should all be carets. Okay. There you go. Another live typo. Alright, so we get our thing to boot. I'm going to hit F12, and this will give me the boot menu. You can hard code the boot selection on the command line, but the thing is it's hard coded and it's really annoying. So we're going to boot from floppy. So right now I don't need the monitor. I guess I'll just leave this as a reference to what disks are where. So whenever you get a brand new computer, you have to partition it, and this is no different. So we have to run the fdisk program. So if I display, There's no partitions. Remember, this is a virtual machine. This is not your real computer. So I'm going to create a partition, primary partition, and use the whole hard drive. And then it wants to reboot. That's fine. Hit any key. And same deal. Hit F12. Boot from floppy. Okay, so we've partitioned our hard drive. Now we got to format it. C:+ yes. And we'll give it a name. I guess we'll stick with the theme apricot. Okay, so I got my hard drive. Next thing I'm going to do is run the install program. So we go install. Has the hard disk been formatted? Yes. And then now it'll want you to remove disks. So this is why I'm going to go telnet localhost. Oh, you know what this thing's going to do? It's searching. Telnet. So this is Windows R to bring up run. Yeah, just type in telnet. It's here you go, Windows. So localhost, and this is 4,000. Can't find telnet. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess that's what you get when you legitimately do a fresh install. You don't have programs installed, so to turn a feature on or off. And in this case, I want telnet client. Yes, please. Close. All right. So let's try that again. So Windows R telnet localhost 4,000. There you go, connecting to localhost. All right, now we're at the monitor. So here's where we can tell the emulator we're going to change floppies. So we change. It has tab complete, which is nice. So I can type in F and tab, so that was tab complete floppy 0. And then it's got spaces in the name, so we need a quote, apricot, and then tab over, and then DOS 4 install, tab 2, and then close the quote. That, and then that should have changed floppy. Then we come back to here, hit space. Alright, it's copied the files. And now we come back to the monitor, and then we can backspace and change the 2 to a 1. So now the first disk is back in, hit spacebar. Okay, so our DOS should be installed. So now we type in system_reset. And we're going to do nothing, and it should boot from the hard drive. There we go. And check disk. There we go, 100 megabyte hard drive. And if we do a dir, it's already configured for us. Very nice. So now we want to install Windows 3.0. So that was apricot Windows, and then disk 1, and then close the quotes. This is going to scroll a bit off here eventually. So you see there's 4 disks. So we're going to have to eventually change through all 4. So Windows is on the A drive. Setup. That's going to install the Windows. Even though this is a UK operating system, it still has the US because I used the US keyboard layout. I changed the keyboard to the enhanced 101. So MS-DOS, VGA, PS2 keyboard, 101, keyboard layout. I'm going to change this, but I'll change it back to US. Language, English, and no network, because we don't have a traditional network and we're not going to use a traditional network. Okay, so this list matches my computer, so we hit enter. And as I mentioned, first disk is done, so now we're going to swap to the second disk. Come back here, enter. Alright, we don't have any printers, we don't have any applications, and I'm not interested in reading. So if you notice, if I click in here, the mouse is grabbed, so you have to hold down Control and Alt at the same time, and then that will let go of the mouse grab. But if you click on the title bar, you can still send keystrokes. So if I hit enter, it'll continue. Alright, then disk number 3. So here, oops, I just changed it to 2 again. Yeah, make sure it does what you tell it to, not what you think. Let's let it modify my configs, autos, and then I'm going to go ahead and restart Windows. Wow, so fast. Now, I'm going to change a few things because I don't like the UK layout. So, File, Run, Notepad, File, Open, config.sys. Okay, so we want to take away the country command. Nancy's fine. Take off the display, the keyboard, and the NLS. So this just removes all the weird UK things for the keyboard, because the keyboards are different. So if I hit backslash, I do get a backslash. But there's other things that don't map right. It's just really annoying, so we'll just save that. And file open, we want auto exec, like that. Okay, I like not having that on. Let it verify. The append command just, it's an old DOS thing before paths. And it's stupid, so just get rid of it. We don't need the graphics thing. We don't need the weird keyboard thing. The default one's fine. Okay, so that will do. So we're in real mode right now, yeah. Alright, we're gonna exit. We should go to program, yeah, swap file. I can never remember. Win-R swap file. And then this will create a virtual memory like partition for Windows. I'm going to make a tiny one, so just 8192, so 8 megabytes, and then create. Swap file is created. It makes the 386 enhanced version of Windows happier to do this. Alright, so we want to reboot the computer. So if we come back to our monitor, and we type in system_reset. Alright, and then we go ahead and type in Windows, about Program Manager. So we're in 386 enhanced mode with the virtual swap file. Something silly I usually like to do is open the default PIF. The program information defines how DOS programs run, so I can set the default one to run in a window, so now when I run the DOS prompt, we're in a window. Hooray! Type in them, and we see 489 kilobytes available and 1.5 megabytes of EMS. But we didn't come here for that. Okay, so far, so good. So we've got DOS, we've got Windows. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kill the emulator, like so. And then what I normally recommend is that you go ahead and make a backup of where we are right now. So add to apricot.zip. And you just go ahead and rename this one to something like DOS4 Win3. So now, if we screw things up, we can immediately come back to where we were. Let's go ahead and we need the networking stack. So back up one directory, and NetChameleon, and then there's a couple files here. So we're going to go ahead and copy these into the Qemu directory, like so. And then we're going to go back, and there should be a serial number in here. There we go. So this is the part we care about, the serial and the code. So all being well, this won't matter too much. Okay, so we'll go back to our directory. Now we're going to go ahead and set this thing up. Now we're going to also share the hard drive, or share the directory where we downloaded the AMD driver as a second hard drive. It makes it so much more easier. So we're going to go ahead and add, I believe it's Chameleon image to start with, an HDB for a second hard drive. FAT is for the file allocation table, so it's going to emulate a hard drive with disks or files already in there. So if I type in PCNet, that should mount that directory as a second hard drive. So we'll go ahead and run. I'm just going to hit F12 to go faster, boot from the hard drive. Now if I look at the D drive, there's my files. Isn't that great? If I go look at the A drive, there should be a setup program. Alright, so we run Windows. Now we can go ahead and try to do something creative. We're going to tell that to localhost 4001, and then we should get connected. Now we're going to go ahead and go to accessories and terminal, COM1. Okay, and that should be connected. Now I can go back here, copy this. Let me make sure there's no alts enabled. Or I guess it's going to do it whether I like it or not. Anyway, so I right click in here, hit enter, and there we go. So now I've pasted the serial number into here, so I can just highlight from here, edit, copy. See, no typos, isn't that great? So it's file, run, a setup. See, because it's going to make me type this in, isn't it? But I can just shift insert, and paste that right in, and then go back to terminal, and here's the code. So just highlight from here, edit, copy, minimize, and right click paste? No. Shift insert, and we're good to go. The following applications can only be run in Windows 3.1. I think it's NFS, but we're not going to use NFS, so it's fine. It's TCP IP based, that's fine. Where are you going to put it? We're just going to go with the default directory, and it should start copying files. All right, now it's the newt disk, so Control Alt. Now we need to get the monitor, so let's tell that to localhost on port 4000. Okay, and just look back at here. So the newt disk is literally called newt. So change the floppy 0 to newt. ING, hit enter. Oh, if you ever want to see what disks you do have mounted, you type in info block. And this will show you the hard drive, the floppies currently mounted as newt. And then hard drive 1 is for the PC net directory. Okay, so our newt disk is in there, so hit continue. Alright, we need to update your system INI. Go ahead. Alright, install is complete. It's going to reboot. Alright, so this part here, this gets weird. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to connect over Ethernet. Now it's going to ask us for what card we have. In this case, it's going to be other. Now this one is a little weird. You have to type it in. So the section name is going to be the name of the driver, so PCNet. I don't think that one matters, but this one does. The driver name, however, PCNTND, I believe it's .dos. So if we want to verify, we go back to here, launch File Manager, go to D, double click in here, so PCNTD. Oh, it's not OS2. I might have had the wrong one. Oh dear. Does that exe even run? I might have goofed. Let's take a look at it in DOS. PCNet. This program cannot be run in DOS. This is the OS2 version. I'm going to have to remember where I found this thing. I kept this entire section, so we'll just lie and say OS2 for now. Oh, the driver name anyways is not that. It's PCNTND $. And then PCNTD, same name, PCNTND. I'm going to lie for now. And I have to remember where I got this thing from. So IP address, it would be 10.0.2.15 because all user modes use the same IP. The subnet mask is weird in that it's 16 bits reading it that way. Yeah. So it should be 24, but who's counting? Host name, Qemu, I guess. You can call it anything you want. The domain doesn't matter. Don't pick something like Google. Then you usually want to set default gateway. 10.02.2 is the one that it'll wind up wanting to use for the slurp or the net user thing. And then domain servers, name servers. So 10.0.2.3 will be whatever your main computer uses. And then whatever popular ones are. You know, people like 8.8.8.8. And I've always liked 1.1.1.1. So 8888 is Google, 1111 is Cloudflare. So, okay. Now we can go ahead and save. Now it asks for the driver. This would have been the D drive. And then we can go ahead and exit. Configurations change, you need to reboot. In our case, we need to find the proper driver. So let me just break and be back in one moment. Okay, so with the right file in place, this thing will boot up and you'll see the PC NTD's been found. It's got a MAC address, receive buffers. We run the memory command. You can see we got very little memory left. So this thing used to really suck back before EMM 386 and loading device drivers high. But we're running Windows. We don't care about any of this crap, so we just run Win. And now we can go ahead, come back in here. Now we've got our Chameleon NFS programs. So we're going to verify that our TCP stack's working. So we're going to run ping. And then we're going to start, and it's going to ask us who to ping. There's only one host you can ping, 10.0.2.3. Oh, not 3, 2, sorry. Again, this is me doing it live, not thinking. 10.0.2.2. And there we go. We pinged it one time. Round trip is 0.0, which means it works great. So ping again. Great. So we're going to exit this. If you want to save, sure, I guess. So what was it building up to? If I remember correctly, they had an example here of where the heck is this place? Oh, I don't have the web browser installed. Yeah, don't have to worry about any 2000s. Yes, the PCNet is definitely the way to go. And it's just using FTP, other examples. Let's see if we can talk to a BBS perhaps. So there should be a telnet. So let's go ahead and change the settings, preferences, and then alright. Colors, just literally colors. Fonts, I like the terminal font myself. Let's see. Let's just connect. Oh, here's reset the terminal, so I want ANSI. Let's try convert synpro.net. And here we are, connected to a BBS over the internet from Windows 3.0. Very nice. Who are you? Let's just say we're a guest. And yes, we do support ANSI. Reporting from ICE? No. Please enter your name or alias. We'll say Yazid. Enter your email address. There you go. City or state. Oh my gosh. Why not? What did you hear about this BBS? Internet. And the font's still like that, right? Probably should change the colors to be inverse. But there you go. So as you can see, we're connected. Every time there's an IP launching, that's where the nuke guy pops up. And you can just see where it's bound to the MAC, IP address, subnet, etc., etc. So I'm just going to go ahead and log off of here. Save your session, I guess. So yeah, FTP is not going to work because it doesn't have, I'm sure it doesn't have passive mode. I'm sure it's very active. Let's see. Yeah, I doubt it very much it's going to work properly. It's the problem. A lot of these things don't support or work around firewalls. Or there are other protocols that just don't exist anymore. ID software used to run a finger demon, but that's all long gone. Same with like who is. Hosts, user, I don't know. We'll do, I think it's just going to be the user, or the, I think this is like the Gopher one. Yeah, no one's home. Yeah, this is from '93. The internet was a very, very different place so long ago. So, yeah, that should be it. We've installed and got Chameleon TCP/IP running on Windows 3.0. I hope that was interesting, useful, maybe. Probably not. Yeah, bye.